Guten Tag, liebe Leute. We're live streaming. I understand that half a dozen countries are actually joining us today of the live stream. There are 80 people who signed up for outside, and there were 100 people signed up for the indoor event. We could only hold 100, so this is why you're the honorable guest. Thank you for making time. Yes, that's exactly right. Germany, and some of you have actually traveled from abroad to be here. I will obviously, we have such an honorable guest with us today. We'll get to this in a minute. Who are the people who helped make this happen? It's a public-private consortium that consists of mainly, I would say, Berlin-based companies, but all German-based companies. And even though we work with different departments in different countries, leaders behind this public-private consortium. Now, this is a little bit different than what you're used to. We didn't grab a bunch of companies, put the logos on a piece of paper and said we're partnering. You're really looking at more than a year, spending time together, integrating our teams, integrating solutions that tackle current business problems. And so this is just the first step of many more to come. And even though today you will just see the drone fly, you'll be able to interact with the drone, to grab the data, to pay for the data, it seemed like a minor issue, like, yes, this is fun, we're doing this, but actually there's many steps involved on the back end to make this happen. And because all our societal problems, challenges, are not going to be fixed by either just the government, or just a public company, or just a few startups, we have to collaborate in making it happen. And so, who said that Germany was not innovating, right? And who said that we can't make this happen? So today, immediately just behind this project, thank you again for coming, all. And before we dive in, as mentioned, I have the privilege to announce to you this great acknowledgement we received from Berlin Partner and Berlin State in the Senate. And with us today, please help me welcome Staatssekretär Dr. Fischer. Wirtschaft, Technologie GmbH is the most perfect person to actually share a little bit more about what's happening in Berlin, but also why initiatives like these are critical for the health of all of us and doesn't just impact Berlin city and state, but also impact far beyond this. So, Dr. Fischer, thank you so much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, nice greetings to this afternoon, and thank you very much for the invitation to all here and to the people who are watching us today. I'm quite excited, I have to be honest. It's still 50 minutes to go to the start of your Web3 drone project, and yeah. It is a result, I think, of many weeks, many months, many years of cooperation between companies that do not meet every day. And I think this is the most important topic around our gathering today, is that we bring companies from different branches together and start an idea, bring an idea into a realization. And the consortium, the NEXA consortium, is really unique. I think this is quite clear. It combines future technologies such as drones, Web3 and IoT tools, and mobile communications and mobile payment services. And that's, I think we identified that quite early. It brings a huge potential, not only to Berlin itself, but also above that in a global scale, if we manage to develop that first. So when I heard about today's event, I was very happy to get an invitation and to join you. And as I said, I'm quite excited to see what's happening. I'm, from my job description, I'm the State Secretary for Energy and Enterprises, but also responsible for innovation in the city of Berlin. And this is a project that makes innovation really become real and show what it means that we support companies, that we support scientists and people who try to invent new things in the very beginning, And I'm very proud that one of our one of our heart projects in the economics ministry, that is the Deep Tech Award, where we fund companies, entrepreneurs that at an early stage of their development start going into development, going into implementation of their ideas. And one of these members of today's consortium, Staex, was already 4 years ago in the Deep Tech Award, won that in their category, and they are today with us, part of this consortium, and we are really proud that you made your way and that we are at that point today. So a little applause, I would say. But Berlin is not only into deep tech, we are also into Web3 and blockchain, and we are both topics capital in Germany, not only political, but also for these issues. We have around 130 blockchain players in our city, a large number of startups within that, around 110, but we also we have also established companies, accelerators, innovation centers, research institutions, and investors. And every year, once a year, we organize the Berlin Blockchain Week that shows quite clearly how important that also is for our city. And we are a great field, Berlin is a great field for experimentation, the think tank for innovative solutions of tomorrow. We just started a couple of weeks ago our new Living Labs funding project. Also, that is very important for experimentation, for bringing ideas into reality, spaces in which ideas and products made in Berlin can be tested in real time under real conditions, further developed and made usable for the people in our city. That is also a very important part of our innovation politics. Well, I would like to encourage the consortium to give me and my administration feedback on the way you went through in the last couple of years, how we can in the future support you even better and make your process being one that helps others to make their way too. And finally, of course, I have to thank Berlin Partner, and Ms. Gutmann-Trieb is here. I think they supported you over the last couple of months and years, and brought you also to the place where we are today here. I think we are very proud to have Berlin Partner to do that, and I hope they help you in the way you imagined it to happen. So, that's all from my side. I don't want to take more time until the start of the night is really becoming real. Thanks for inviting me again. Thanks for choosing Berlin as the place to be, and that's the place for your consortium to bring the ideas into reality. And I'm very much looking forward now to the presentation, and then to your start there outside. And as a Berliner, I can say our experiences with air traffic and all that are mixed. I'm very happy that today we have a very positive connotation to that topic, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. Thank you.
Staex is not only a very unique example of a company based in Berlin, bred in Berlin. As a startup, you have to change a lot, to rethink what you're doing. I have been following this path over the last years, and this is so inspiring to see this startup that is brave to find new ways. It's all about alliances, partnerships. What Staex is also doing, and very unique, building a real use case of Web3 in industry. This is something that we have to see more in the future. This project is so important for Berlin because this is a lighthouse project of what blockchain brings to industry.
We have a huge problem today. If you connect your device to the internet today, it experiences up to 5,400 hacker attacks. IoT devices comprise a huge portion of our critical infrastructure. The hackers are misusing our IoT devices to run their attacks on the internet, after which the devices break and malfunction. Staex is solving these problems by providing the new generation protocol that protects devices from hacker attacks. And also, the network decides on the Staex network who has access to what, unlike on today's internet.
Concluding the viability of this platform as an option for our business, assessing the use of drones for maintenance and operation of our network, and participating in the design and implementation of this new infrastructure are the outcomes that we expect for this project. We will analyze how we will create a new product to be offered to the market. We are very optimistic about how relevant this product will be in the future. We truly believe that drones will be part of the digitalization process in Europe, and Vantage Towers aims to be a key stakeholder in that journey.
Our team brings all our expertise in payment and technology to this project by pioneering invisible automated payment solutions that bridge the gap between traditional Web2 and emerging Web3 paradigm.
Our drones are mostly for surveying and monitoring. We are also doing transport of medical goods. If you go a little bit more to the countryside, I'm really sure in the future the whole logistic chain drones will be a part of it, especially for farmers because they're just space.
In today's fast-paced world, manual handling of contracts and payments often leads to inefficiencies. Human intervention can slow processes and introduce errors. Mistrust between parties, be it government, businesses, or the public sector, complicates transactions further, necessitating numerous checks and verifications. Imagine a world where machines handle bids, job designing, and payments independently, without any human interference. Our solution empowers machines to act autonomously and fully automated. Secured by advanced cryptographic standards and backed by a comprehensive ledger system, our platform records everything from permits to transaction details and work results. With payment integration at its core, our platform ensures that all kinds of machines and devices are able to pay and get paid in their national currency in a very smooth and secure fashion. In the near future, management systems will autonomously order physical services, reducing human oversight and accelerating efficiency. Every artifact produced, such as aerial photos from a drone, is securely stored in the ledger, providing undeniable proof of work and building unprecedented trust among clients. Our vision is a world where seamless automation enables an efficient economy, reducing wastage and enhancing productivity, opening up new avenues for growth and innovation.
For this project, we partner with Lisk. Lisk is a layer 2 blockchain on Ethereum. Lisk makes sure that the data that we collect stayed signed, verified, means secure. Chirp Wireless is a very innovative connectivity provider that enables 2G to 5G connectivity for flying objects and has very innovative access to Web3 features.
What Staex and Germandrones are doing is pushing the boundaries of the industry, cross-industry collaboration of its first kind.
All the companies that work together in the project transfer this project from a proof of concept straight into the market. A business starts out of it that creates jobs and also added value. NEXA is fairly unique. The application is not limited to one market field. You can actually transfer this into different kinds of areas. And that is the great thing about it. Something we're very proud of is that people with smart ideas come to our city, use the benefits of the ecosystem. This transfer from ideas into reality, this energy in creating innovation, this is something the cluster and our team in particular love supporting.
I don't need a mic, no? Sure. I think I see your eyes. You want me to? I'll do whatever Alvina says. We have to do special. No echo. You know, we can only do deep tech, guys. This is just light tech. It's not something we can do this series of tech only. So what happens next is we have the links of the project. I'd love for you to meet the leaders behind this project. We actually split the panel discussions into groups because there's so many cross-sector, right, cross-industry leaders here with us today. So the first group I call Operations and Partner Organization, and the second group are the Web3 boys and girls. Let's put it that way. Foxy, no, Mike. Okay, I was cool with that all along. So, first up, our very own Professor Dr. Alexandra, my dear colleague, founder CEO of Staex. So Alexandra, more than a year ago, was in cahoots with Juan and Miguel. They dreamed up the future, and this is why we are doing all of this. Juan Antonio, please join us. And Juan Antonio is the head of Technology Strategy and Innovation at Vantage Towers. We work with Vantage Towers AG, so there's some German colleagues here from Vantage Towers and also with their Spanish department. So thank you for making this happen. And then a very important partner that was added to the mix because if there's no payment possible, there is no business, right? So we had the great fortune to work with the team from paymenttools and the head of product. Nenad is here. Thank you for coming out. And then CEO and founder of a Berlin-based company, Dr. Klaus Scho. Of course, these are your German drones that are flying up in the air. We've been able to work with your team very intensely on connecting with them and making data happen between the different machines and devices. And all of this, as Staff Secretary Fischer said before, wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for my dear colleagues from different industries, Nenad. Cluster for ICT, media and creative industries. Good. So what we'll do is, because of time, there's an outdoor portion of today's program. You will take turns in just explaining a little bit more about your company or organization, and then I have an individual question for each one of you. We'll leave Q&A to when you come back from viewing, seeing the drone and interacting with the drone, because then all the chairs will be gone and then you can actually meet with whomever you want to meet. So there will be no public Q&A because of time constraint. But please do return back to this hall after the outdoor part. So Alexandra, let's start with you.
Sure. So you are all very welcome. I'm super excited. It took us 1 year and 3 months to put together. Let me just roll it back into the year 2013. This is when the whole idea for Staex actually came up. And the goal is to make our lives secure. You see today a little portion, a snapshot of how our future will look like, because drones, machines are highly used in critical infrastructures. And actually what made me really scared, because I was working for a telco, that the protocols are really old, they are insecure, and we have a huge problem. So we have to automate it, we have to help new generation to make it simpler, however, even more secure than it used to be, and this is what Staex is doing. You can think about it as an isolated internet, only bigger internet, where the device can be hacked, the devices can be attacked, so I think it's very, very exciting.
Juan, a little bit about Vantage Towers.
Hello. First of all, thank you very much for having me here, because this is really coming from a crazy conversation about the environment was well. It was a long maybe at the end of the corridor, so we started talking, what are you doing? I'm doing blockchain, or I'm doing towers, it's not too much to each other, but maybe we can do something better. And I'm heading the innovation department in Vantage, and I think that all of you know that Vantage is a spin-off from Vodafone Group. We have 10 markets in Europe and around 84,000 towers or locations where we deploy kits for the MNOs just to provide mobile service. And one of our targets is to put more things on our towers. At the end, we like to have Europe connected, but Europe connected not only for mobile services, but whatever another service that is going to come in. And I think that drones are going to come back. I don't know when it's going to start, but we would like to be ready to provide the infrastructure that the drones are going to need in the future. And I think that this is a really good opportunity to learn. And let's see how far we can achieve.
Thank you.
So there is still physical space on the towers to adopt that.
Yes, because at the end, you know, in the tower you need to put a lot of things. Our target is to make the things as much as clever as possible to optimize the space. The things that we need for the drones are really small in comparison with the things that we put on the tower. So one of our targets is to make the things clever and efficiently, just to get the most of the space.
Great. Nenad?
I mean, first of all, we're really honored and proud to be part of this project. And I mean, everyone of you knows that payment is actually always the last step of the process, actually. You know, it always comes last, but it's one of the most important things because without payment, there's no business. So we from paymenttools, we strive to make sure that we build software solutions for payment that make sure that payment works whenever it's needed. Is it point of sale in the retail? Is it in e-commerce? Is it for IoT devices? And it's always about reliability because it doesn't matter if there's like one person trying to pay at the same time or thousands of people. It has to work, you know, it has to be reliable, it has to be there. It has to be secure because no one will pay with a device or with a card if they think that their data can get stolen, you know. And of course it has to be easily integrated, like for the partners. If it's hard to integrate, no one will use it actually. So this is actually the part where we as paymenttools are there for, you know, to make sure that we build the right solutions that actually everyone can enjoy paying.
Can you share a little bit on how many terminals you are? Because that's impressive, and how many payments you actually process?
I mean, as of now, we have approximately something about 100,000 terminals out there, and we're processing 1.6 billion of transactions as of now.
Okay. So you see not a hobby shop here.
No, actually, like from point of sale transactions, we are the number 3, I think, in terms of transaction processing in Germany.
Dr. Klaus.
Thank you for inviting us. I'm very happy to be here, part of the consortium. Germandrones, I founded together with partners now 8 years ago. The idea of making precision agriculture, making some surveying, mapping. Now we are the surveillance business, and also transportation of some medical goods. This here is another thing for us because our drone at the end is just a keyboard device to gathering data as well as I was very happy to hear there's a new idea for making it now more than half a year ago. One of my guys. I'm really happy to see what comes next. I'm really excited to see what's going on. And as a German Berlin company, it's very interesting for us to be here.
It was mentioned that a lot of companies that are here today are in the days and things like that. But I do want to mention that we see very that Berlin and Brandenburg are like a talent magnet. They draw people from all over the world to come here and start their ideas. I think this is one of the strengths of our state, and it goes back. Alex, you mentioned your idea started in 2013, 2011. Politics came together from both states, Berlin and Brandenburg, and I'm happy that also Dr. Lochta is here from Brandenburg. And they created the innovation strategy for Berlin and Brandenburg. And there are 5 clusters. This cluster of ICT, media, and creative industry is within Berlin partner. And one of our strengths is to bring people who want to bring their idea into reality together. And I'm so touched and also proud to be here because I think it was also mentioned that we need the environment of people who want to not only have an idea but make it real. And every single chain in this link, it creates a new value chain. I think this is what our team is especially dedicated to create a new value chain that comes up with a proof of concept and then makes it a reality on the market. And I'm very proud to be a part of that.
So, thank you. So, first question for Alexandra. What business problem does Staex solve?
Right. So, we actually went out and in the beginning of Staex, I was personally very excited about Web3. However, my dream was always to sell it to the industry. So you can imagine the first conversations, it was 2020, went really bad, like really bad. The first customers can't explain the value, it was really complicated. And so we actually spent 4 years inside the industry to turn around the features that we created into the value. And today we are the best solution for accessing IoT devices. It's the most lightweight protocol. It's the most cost-efficient protocol. We were actually amazed ourselves when we started measuring and comparing it to all the tech, which comprises the internet today. And actually, this is what makes it very beautiful. And not only we connect devices between each other, we enable the intersection that through our network, the devices can actually use blockchain features. Of course, today, I need to say, it's still the role of our team. Like, for instance, we have a lot of conversations with Juan to explain what actually Web3 can do for today's machines, like verified data, data transactions, payments, etc. However, we foresee in the future that it will be also an automated process. So basically, we provide secure network for the devices, where manufacturers can get access to the devices, can actually manage their software through the network, so they don't need actually cloud at the end, and also get access to the Web3 features. And this is what we're solving today.
Thank you. And Juan, you had innovation at a public company. Here, other public companies or corporations, what are some of the challenges? Driving innovation at a very large entity, and then what are maybe some advice that how they can work with, like, smaller companies like Staex and other organizations in making more solutions happen for customers?
I think that the main challenge that we face with all these innovation ideas is to convince our FCO. This is the main challenge because at the end, innovation is something that the public companies try to afford to improve the business or to improve the things that the way that we do the business. When we work in energy, it's much more easy because we have a clear target. But when we work in this type of product that no one knows when we are going to have a potential market, it's quite difficult. And I think that this exercise that we're doing here are the ones that promote and facilitate for people like me these type of activities. Because at the end, it's not a crazy idea. If it is crazy, there are another 5 crazy guys doing this stuff, and it helps. You were to run these leads in front of the school when you're going to explain that it's going to happen in the future. And advice is just to learn to say no to the CEO.
So that's your takeaway. Learn to say no to your CEO is the advice. Nenad, when will we, or what are the steps towards automated machine-to-machine payments?
I mean, there are a lot of steps to
Yes.
do it because, as I mentioned before, one thing is about integration. How do you make sure that actually all these devices interact with our payment APIs and what's actually our purpose of it? The other thing is security and recognition. How do we actually recognize and make sure that actually the device is trusted, first of all, and secondly, that the payment that is behind there is also trusted. Right? You know, they're like, so we have to, of course, to make these things first. And I mean, another thing that we have to take care of is also at the end, the payment methods behind there. We are the ones actually making sure that it doesn't matter what payment method behind there is, we orchestrate them. But in order to be able to do that, we have first of all to make sure like what are we talking about, like what payments, when does the payment need to happen? You know, like instantly, does it have to be an instant payment or not? Does it have to be a payment that comes a day later, a week later, whatsoever? And the other thing is about the cost. There are always transaction costs behind it, and the more complex actually processing the transactions, the higher the cost will be. So we have to make sure that complexity is taken out in this process. So actually, these are the things we have to think about.
Thank you. Dr. Scho, we spoke a little bit about what is needed, what are some of the requirements that are needed to have permanent Berlin-based or Berlin-Brandenburg-based corridors, drone corridors.
Yeah, you're completely right. First of all, for our drones, we have to fly. That means not just like a small drone without sights. So we have to fly kilometers to get data. Without that, we cannot do that. So that means we need some, let's say, corridors. So all this traffic management integrated in all these things all here. Especially Berlin is maybe very complicated because there are a lot of zones that cannot fly at all. But this is okay for us. We can also, from my point of view, not necessarily to deliver a parcel to the drone to every house in Berlin. But maybe Hamburg could be very interesting. So that means we corridors and the regulations should be more flexible. Regulations should be faster. This is very important for us. So, but we're on the way. It's a very long process. Let's say 3 years ago I thought, okay, next year 25 we are able to do that. If you ask me now, I would say it takes another 2 years. So this is I think very small steps. Sometimes a step back because the regulations in Europe are not really ready at all. So there is something new, there's something more precise, and then we have to switch. This is not very easy. And in between, we have to make business. That's the thing. So I think this will work, but of course it does take some time.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, this is just the first step. There was NEXA 2. We're already discussing. Can everybody hear, or do we want to try the mic again? Is everybody okay still? Amira, last up.
I actually would like to respond to something that Dr. Scho said. He said it's not easy to fly everywhere. I want to take this moment to thank, because we're at the KI Park, to thank Christian Meiner, Rupert Friedlinger, and the team of KI Park because they made it possible to fly here. I think that's really, really important to say that we need people who, when there is a moment to test something out, to jump into the cold water and say, I'll do it. And I want to thank Dr. Fischer because we need people at the head who ask interesting questions, who ask where are we good at, who want to develop, what you said, the regulations and create the subsidies like living labs, places where we can explore experiment. And what I find, I think Berlin has that possibility to bring industry and research, and then also politics, that we all draw in the same direction.
Right.
So this consortium, I think, shows that.
So in relationship to this, what are some of the advice that you have for Berlin-based companies to have a voice on government level, how to collaborate better so we can find more solutions for our company?
Well, you're on a silver platter. You're giving me the opportunity to say, please approach our team. We have a fantastic team. You will meet Jakob later, but this is not only from my cluster. There are 5 clusters here in Berlin, and each of them are excellent. It's a possibility to immediately come with your idea, or if your business is looking for a new direction, approach us. We will put our sleeves up and get in the water with you and figure out who are the partners that you need, because one of the unique qualities our team has is to connect the right people. So it's not only about bringing research and business together, but also to think about that value chain and who could fit to whom. And we are always aiming to bring good people together and strengthen the ecosystem as a whole, because you're no longer alone. You've created your own value chain, so you can already then approach the next step.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Because Staex is the link between Web2 and Web3, and Alexandra, please remain seated. And for the rest, you will meet them after we have the drone flight, so don't fret. Okay, we'll move quickly because I know that it's almost time for us to go to the outdoor part. The Web2 and the boys and girls. So in addition to Alexandra, I would like Severin to join us from Lisk. She's the Lisk development manager. Another core partner is Tim Krasnowski, CEO and founder of Chirp Wireless, is here with us. And of course we have because otherwise Jakob is alone on this.
Okay,
so this is fine. Jakob from project manager, ICT, Web3, blockchain, innovation, technologies. I forgot. It's actually, I can click here. Project manager, innovation. Oh, I can see ICT, blockchain, IT security. So let's start with Alexandra, real quick, because we need to move outside. Why should we care about Web3? Like, what is it that Web3 technology can do for corporations that we can't do today with, what's out there?
Right. I said it multiple times about this data and security. I will just take a snapshot. We have a customer that we are building stacks in combination with blockchain in our office. And I really need to share it with you because you've heard I do it for a lot of years. And he approaches me every week and he tells me, Alexandra, I can't believe you can do this today. Like just through the network, I have verified data, I have payments, I have metering, and I don't need cloud services for this, and it's all secure and trusted, and it costs a fraction of a cent. And just this energy I wanted to give to all of you because I am super excited to hear it after 10 years doing my job. And this is what we bring. So today you can work without cloud environment, it can be more secure, it can be more trusted, and this is what Web3 brings into the industry.
Great, thank you. Guys, do we have actually a snapshot? Or we don't? It's okay. We do. Okay, so you will actually move, and this I will explain a little bit what will happen. You will move after the panel discussion outside, where you actually will interact with the drone. The drone will be flying around. It's called Songbird. Dr. Scho's this company drone, and you will be able to connect with the drone. Armin will be there for paymenttools. He will walk you through the steps, and he will mimic like payment. You will actually can pay, but we are not charging you, so you will go through the payment tools steps. I was actually against this, just so you all know. I wanted to take payments, so you're in luck because I was vetoed down. Because I was like, why don't take payment? Because then they see it's for real, right?
Because then they would hack it.
Okay, so I was vetoed down, just so you know, you don't have to pay, all fundraising. But yeah, every opportunity to make money, right? So we have to do two, guys. So you will interact with the machine. The data that's collected by the drone is today in the form of a video reel of us. So you will be close enough to the drone where there's a super sonic camera on it that will take a video reel of us, and you will interact with the drone, with the machines to collect this data, a video reel, pay for it, and the data is secured on the blockchain. So whatever geo data in the future, or payments, or the drone took off and landed, all of this stuff can be put on the blockchain. And so my question for Lisk is, because all this data sits on this blockchain, it's layer 2 on Ethereum, please share with us, this is like an example of a contract. What do we see here? Like, what happens?
So basically, this is what happens in the back end. The transaction, you can see at the top is the hash. And on this hash, it's all the transactions are stored. So all the data is stored there. So it's immutable, snapper-proof. Basically, you can see, but you can change it. And it's stored on chain forever. So all the transactions are made on our network, and it just stays there. So it's quite stable, secure, and there's nothing you can do to change the transaction. And you have access to everything that's stored on chain.
So thank you. So we've been working with this for more, I think, a year now. Tell us a little bit about this.
Sure. Okay. So I've been asked to explain this. I know blockchain is a very complex landscape, so I've been asked to make it simple. So this is a company that was founded in 2016. Our foundation is in Switzerland, and our office is in Berlin. We've been around for quite some time, we're solid and steady. And basically, what is Lisk? Lisk is a protocol platform where you can build your blockchains using our technology stack. And to onboard more projects to Lisk, we launched a series of initiatives and partnerships, especially this year, that we're focusing on renewable applications, renewable assets. And we're just moving also to emerging markets. We just launched actually a partnership with the government of Indonesia, where we're helping bootstrapping accelerators and startups there in their ecosystem, and also a series of education programs about blockchain. And also recently, we just moved also to Africa. We launched our incubator program with the help of Staex.
Owen is here.
Severin is here, yes. And this is a roadshow we are having on the ground to support and empower builders and projects to bring the ideas to life. But mostly, these projects to create an impact regionally, locally, to make most out of the use of blockchain. And obviously, with this focus in emerging markets and real world assets for blockchain, Staex is actually a great example and a huge success of the Lisk vision and mission for the future.
Thank you. And all of at Lisk, all the team. Tim, we spoke recently, and you mentioned the complexity of all the machines and devices that you have, that your company have, that we need reliable connectivity with, no matter where your office is, no matter where the machines are. How does your platform unravel some of these complexity in connecting with these machines and devices?
At Chirp, we're actually an MNO and MVNO. MNO is a mobile network operator and mobile virtual network operator. It means that we have ground infrastructure. We're already deployed in 33 countries with our own network, and we have over 700 partners globally for connectivity. So some of the issues that IoT faces right now, what we're trying to do at Chirp is we aim to connect every single IoT device with the blockchain. And so like essentially we can do, like water management, we can do energy management, any type of device that you can think of. It could be residential, it could be commercial. all of the devices, they use different protocols right now. And the space is extremely, extremely broken. So what we're trying to do at Chirp is to aim to connect all the different protocols under one roof. So you don't have to think, like what protocol the device uses, you just think about the use case. So you have a use case where you need to manage the water, or you have a use case where you have to manage the electricity, or you have a residential use case. You just will find an appropriate device that you need for connectivity, and you connect it to the platform. And what's really good about this is we're building on top of the blockchain, so you can save all of the information, or we can forward all of the information to the from the device to the blockchain. And that information from the device is immutable, and it's completely transparent. So you can no longer bribe somebody. You can no longer. It's completely trusted. So one of the use cases that I give to everybody, and it just kind of puts it in real world perspective. If you have a vaccine company and you're transferring vaccines from one place to another place, certain temperature requirements need to be met during the transportation. If they're not met, essentially you will receive a placebo. Where is the guarantee that the company that is transporting the vaccines, that they didn't alter the temperature report? So in here you can put the temperature sensors inside those packages. They write all of that information on chain. And when it reaches the final destination, the smart contract would analyze that information and automatically release the payment to the delivery company. So this is the true power of blockchain, and it's transparency, and it could also speed up the entire process drastically in the near future. So this is what we aim to do.
Last but not least, yeah, two questions for you. We heard a little bit about Berlin Partner. How do Web3 organizations in Berlin accelerate market adoption? Like, what are some of the steps that would help us becoming more kind of building things for the industry? And then in parallel, how do we encourage some of the companies or governments to embrace Web3 tools, test them, and just help us on the path to kind of innovate for our communities?
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob, and I'm the guy who has to know everyone in Web3 blockchain in Berlin and to connect everyone. This is my dedicated job here. And due to that situation, I've seen a lot of people, businesses suggest that comes to Web3. And what I see is that if you want to be successful as a Web3 company, you really have to put effort on the front end more. UX, UI, this is very important, to show the users that it's possible to use actually very abstract things that is named blockchain. There's a lot of wallets, there are a lot of different applications there out there, so you have to go into the stage where mass adoption means that the mass can actually adopt it. So this is one thing. Over the last years, you have seen also a lot of use cases coming and going. This is normal. I mean, from a technology perspective, blockchain is still quite new, 10, 15 years old. From the blockchain perspective, it's a millennium. But because it's one of the fast-paced text I know, we get a grip when we think of AI and Staex, and we see a new company coming up and down all the time. It's the same in Web3. You have all these circles of good, bad image management. So we have here a project that can prove that blockchain is not only Bitcoin. This is very important. The second question. We have to get that blockchain on stage, on policy stage. So but it means that there is a great technology that is now underseen, I would say, in politics, also in economics. And this is a combination of an answer for both of your questions. We have to create not only use cases, we have to get faster and get use cases that are real world business cases. And then to help the companies, as a Web3 company, to help to show companies, to show industries, this is a really value added. And this is not only theory, for less slides, I would say. And now we can do it. Let's just grab it, get our hands dirty and develop very concrete. I think NEXA is a best example to doing this, getting together, and this is maybe my last comment on this. It's all about partnerships at the very end. Web3 is, if you would like to put it very pathetic, it's one approach for the internet of the future. And I can't imagine another internet of the future without blockchain or some sort of decentralized elements. You can name blockchain, you can name it UNT, you name it. The name won't last. There is something that will be decentralized. And this is also very important when I see the jungle of AI agents in the future doing a maze of information in the internet. So we have something there, like what we call now blockchain. And for that we need partnerships. Internet is connecting, and between industries, between politics, and between developers, and last sentence, burst the bubble. Please go out of the Web3 community. Say hello to AI, say hello to emerging tech, say hello to all kinds of industries, and embrace the opportunities that are there. So.
Great, thank you so much. I hear we are set to go outside. Before I do that, please return so you can actually meet with all the speakers and ask them questions. That's why we don't have a public Q&A. I will call your name, please just say a few words. So this is one of the few locations where you can fly a drone with one permit going through one entity. And it's because of Christian and Guido and Marcel here at Marienpark. Thank you so much. Christian, a few words, just real short, because we need to go out, so one sentence. Marienpark.
You're welcome. We're very happy that no matter how complicated the use case is, that it still needs a physical space. But nevertheless, I don't
yeah, if you want to do crazy things, talk to Christian.
If they require real estate.
Yeah, okay. Marienpark. We have the Drivery here. Real quick, CEO of the Drivery is here, Timon, and also Sebastian, I think, and Natasha. This is our original home. Staex is Berlin-based, and so if you want to participate in NEXA 2, where we're talking, come and see us at the Drivery. Timon.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure to be here, and thank you, team Staex, for the great invitation. We have been part of the journey for a long time, and it's a little dream come true also for the Drivery. We believe in ecosystem innovation, and the new technologies need companies, industry verticals cooperate that have never done it before, and it's super tough. And here it's a great example that works out, and it's a great lead, and there's a great community, and we call it a consortium now, coming together. How an ecosystem turns into a consortium, that's a very nice example. I love the drive. I think something great has happened already. Maybe it's historic, we don't realize it yet. And it's so great to be part of it as your host, giving your home, but also as an investor. So great after. And let the spirit inject others as well. We need more of that kind. Thank you.
The drive is only 10 minutes drive from here. So Timo from Telefonica is here. He's our beloved partner on many other projects. Timo, you want to say a few words in Telefonica?
Sure. So actually, we partner with Staex because we believe that actually whatever you do on security and innovation, there's always a physics beyond this. And this is something that connects all the things. The interaction between physical networks and security and all devices is a great, interesting challenge for the future. So happy to discuss with you.
Thank you so much. And then last Arne from Germandrones will walk you through the process. Please say hello to Kilian, also and Max that are who are outside from Germandrones. Before I leave you, I have to say a very big thank you to our own team. Alvina, you're a rock star. Ivan, outside. Sergey tuning obviously, my dear Alexandra, and I think Kate is here, and also Daniel, who's tuning in from Spain. So this is it from me. I'm Paxi. Please connect with us. This is how we build relationships that make things that work for all of us. Please go outside, follow partners.
Partners? Oh, for the photo.
Oh, photo. Okay, partners photo before you are allowed to go outside. So all the partners I mentioned,
everyone,
you two, Christian, I'm looking at you. Oh, and Elon is here. From ICP.
Hey, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay. Do the features.
Because ICP is working with us on another applied project.
This orange thing, you come to the front.
All the partners. If you haven't worked, you haven't worked out of here. What's that? Yes. Orange bag out of here.
I got an orange pen. No, that's not orange.
If you see the camera sees you, okay? So still with everybody, saying Let's squeeze you in a little bit more. It's not capturing. Please, Paxi, come to the video, to Alexandra. Yes, we can do it. I know we can. Yes, that's good. I like it. Thank you. I'm so proud of you guys. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now